mode. Activate! Hello, my summer-loving performance junkie nostrils. Welcome to the Beast Mode Summer Edition of the Nashville Nose. I'm your host, as always, Dr. Magnifiscent. Yeah! And if you're anything like me, you want a fragrance to last. All day into the night, jumping off your skin, assaulting everybody around you. Is that taking it too far? Okay, let's dial it back. It's easy to make a beast mode winter fragrance using deeper, darker, denser materials, but fresher notes found in most common summer scents usually fade a lot faster. Luckily, your body heat can aid in the performance of these fresher scents. But these 10 freshies I have for you today utilize formulation tactics that can only be described as magic. Taking these cooler, fresher, brighter notes and cranking them up to 11.
These go to 11.
It's really awesome, and I usually reach for these if I know I'm gonna be away from home for several hours, or if I'm going out to enjoy some summer nightlife. That's where it comes in handy to have a scent with a little bit more oomph. I made a summer nights video not too long ago. That one right there. The principle being relatively the same. Those are also decent performers, but these in this video today take it to an even more turbo level. To my beast mode addicted nostrils out there, this is the perfect summer list for you. And we're gonna get turned up right now. But first, as always, if you're digging this content so far, I don't see any reason not to subscribe and become an official nostril. It's a non-stop party and it's all free. How lucky for you. Come on, do it, do it, do it. Okay, let's activate our summer beast mode. The doctor is now in. Starting with the incredibly obvious one, Hacivat by Nishane. One of my all-time favorite summer scents, one I talk about a lot, and one I will always have in my collection. This one I love championing because it's my favorite, cheaper, and way better performing alternative to Creed Aventus. Anybody ever heard of this one? I haven't. It's my first time hearing about it. Even though they're not super similar, this one to my nose is a little bit more of a tropical pineapple compared to Aventus, which is a bit more mature with more woods and slightly smoky. But Hacivat is like a third of the price. It works great on a blazing hot summer day or a cooled off summer night, and it's a full-blown beast mode fragrance. If this were ever discontinued or reformulated, I'd be crushed. I may have to get a backup bottle now, just in case. Besides pineapple, it also has bergamot, grapefruit, cedar, patchouli, jasmine, and oak moss. I highly recommend you check this one out, as well as every other Nishane, because I love this house. Another house famously known for their beast-like performance is, of course, Parfums de Marly. One that I talk about quite a lot on this channel because I'm a huge fan of all the scents and, of course, the incredible performance. And today we're going again with Galloway. I wanted to have this one here today just to really underline the versatility of this scent. I featured it in my spring video for this year. It would work in an office, in a club, on a date, daytime, nighttime. It makes a perfect signature scent. It's just so damn smooth. Nothing out of the ordinary. It's not super artistic or avant-garde or even hugely unique. Notes are fairly basic with citrus, pepper, orange blossom, iris, musk, and amber. But the reason we love Galloway is because it's easy, practical, dumb reach worthy, but with niche quality, beastly performance, and to be fair, you'll still stand out apart from the Sauvage, CK1, Bleu de Chanel, Aqua de Gio, overplayed mainstream designer scents. That's why I love it, when I just want to smell simply nice with the confidence it'll last all day and night. Still, I wouldn't pay retail for it. If you love it, get it on a discounter. You know what, while we're at it, let's just get into the Initio on this list. You knew Initio was coming. Rehab is one of my all-time favorites from this house. One of my all-time favorites of all time, really. It's a compliment monster. Every time I wear this, I hear someone tell me how good I smell. It's a lighter, fresher scent, but with some spicy undertones, so I would probably put this in the summer nights category. It has this almost green leafy tobacco feel, even though tobacco isn't listed. Instead, it has lavender, bergamot, vetiver, cedar, patchouli, sandalwood, musk, and just a touch of oud. And the oud is light in this one. It may just be the ingredient which contributes to its beast-like performance. I have worn some Initios which have given people headaches, like Atomic Rose. But compared to that one, Rehab is more on the easy end, not nearly as loud and screechy. It's just lovely and I highly recommend. Okay, here we go again. It's a summer scent list and we can't not mention Hawaii Volcano by Alexandria Fragrances. Cause as we all know well enough by now, I mean, how many times do I have to keep on saying it? Hawaii Volcano is the much better performing, much cheaper version of Creed's Virgin Island Water. We've talked about this one to death on this channel because to me it was like the discovery of the century, and I will continue to back it forever and ever 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 and ever. Sorry about that. And ever. But yes, I'm a major fan of this one. However, even considering the much better performance, I still wouldn't call it a beast, so this one is actually not going on our list today. If you want to see more in-depth coverage of this one in particular, check out my clones video right here. For our beast mode list today though, I'm excited to finally talk about the even stronger, longer lasting version, Hawaii Volcano Intense. I mean, read the name, punk. Dodoi. Same scent DNA, but just amped up even more. It's a little bit more sour in the opening. Bear in mind, you get more lime than anything else for the first 15 to 20 minutes of wearing, unlike the original, which doesn't really evolve too much over its duration. In the dry down though, Intense does settle into smelling like the sweet, creamy original. Now, full disclosure, pretty much every note in this fragrance, coconut, lime, rum, sugar, while lacking backbone from things like woods or resins, it pretty much has every strike against it when it comes to longevity. So even with the Intense version, I still wouldn't expect a Hacivat or Parfums de Marly-like performance. But I have to applaud Alexandria for doing everything that they can to amp up this DNA as much as humanly possible. I mean, I was happy with the original, so I'm over the moon about this flanker. So final thoughts, the best way to get the most performance out of this is to wear it in the blazing daytime heat to help it push out. So if you love the idea of smelling like a delicious, citrusy, creamy, slightly boozy, tropical paradise on legs, and want at the very least the closest smelling and possibly best performing version of Virgin Island Water, this is my current champion in that department. Now let's talk some Summer Beast designers. Like Hawaii Volcano or even Hawaii Volcano Intense, this next one is less of a beast compared to previous ones mentioned, but in my experience it's the most beast-like out of the line, especially when it comes to longevity. Maybe not so much projection, but it definitely lasts the longest considering its concentration. We talked about Bleu de Chanel Eau de Toilette for summer days, Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum for summer nights, so you probably saw this coming. We're gonna highlight Bleu de Chanel Parfum today. It makes sense, it's the highest concentrated version, so it's going to have more perfume oil to cosmetic alcohol ratio. It may not project as loud as the EDT or the EDP, but the Parfum will have the most longevity, depending on your skin chemistry, of course. And it does kind of have its own unique voice compared to the other two concentrations. All three have bergamot, mint, pink pepper, sandalwood, cedar, but then the Parfum has no grapefruit, and instead of lemon, it lists lemon zest. The heart has pineapple, lavender, geranium, and green notes, and in the base it has amberwood and tonka bean. So it's a little sweeter, a little more fruity. Although the EDP may be the most versatile, I feel the Parfum is the Bleu de Chanel you can get away with wearing all year round, especially if you wanted to wear it in the cooler months. In fact, this one actually made my New Year's Eve party list last year. The Bleu de Chanel line is super popular, super overplayed, but I love it the most out of all those hype monsters out there. It's a classic line, and Chanel only puts out the best quality. I could also make the argument that the Parfum is the least redundant and probably the least popularly worn. So you'll have that beautiful, gorgeous energy of the original Bleu de Chanel, but you'll stand out just a little bit more. Dior Sauvage Elixir isn't really built for summer, unlike the original EDT, but I wear it in the summer, and I think you can totally pull this off in the warm weather, but preferably at night. The added spices are perfect for when the sun sets and it cools off a little. The grapefruit open supplies that zingy freshness, then cinnamon, cardamom, lavender, licorice, patchouli, amber, and Haitian vetiver take this into an almost niche-like direction. It's unique enough to actually sell me on purchasing a Sauvage. So I'm glad that I have something in my collection to pay homage to the groundbreaking line that it is, without smelling like everyone else, as you're most likely aware of by now. The popularity of the original Sauvage has been my deterrent for wearing it. But Elixir is a really cool release for this line, and suits my personality much more than the others, for sure. It made my signature scent list this year, right there. Because it's versatile enough to work all year round, so why not? Rock Elixir this summer. Get cray-cray. It's a beast. Another famous summer scent, groundbreaker, bestseller, king of its day is Aqua de Jo. And the only one that I own from that line is Profumo. Same deal, it has the familiarity of the original, but takes it to a unique place. It still has C notes, bergamot, rosemary, and patchouli like the original, but then sage, geranium, and incense provide some spice and depth to the whole DNA. And obviously, considering it's on this list, it's the best performing version, at least in my experience. It's a darker, more refined, more mysterious take on Aqua de Jo, and my personal favorite from the line that I've tried thus far. I haven't tried the newest EDP version of the original yet though. I'll have to check that one out. In my Summer Nights video, I talk about Tom Ford's Oud Mineral, which could totally fit on this list with its great performance, but I find that Tom Ford's Noir Anthracite is the true beast, comparatively speaking. Both give me that wet sidewalk vibe, kind of concrete-esque. Again though, I highly recommend it for nighttime. Don't wear this in the blazing heat. I mean, it's a very unique scent, unlike anything else I've ever smelled. And I'm not surprised, of course, leave it to Tom Ford to continue to break barriers, take risks, and think outside the bottle. I mean, he keeps them in bottles. I was just a, figure of speech. It's so rare to find a design house that does that, and that's why he's the master of seduction. Noir Anthracite has dark elements like ebony wood, amber wood, leather, and patchouli, yet still has a crispness to it with ginger, bergamot, and birch, some Szechuan pepper and other spices tucked in just to make it interesting, and a touch of this kind of green feel with gallibanum. You know what setting this would be perfect for? A rainy summer night. It's also quite versatile too, as you can tell by the breakdown of the blend. It has a nice range of warmer and cooler notes, but to me it leans more on the wet and refreshing end of the spectrum. This may be the wild card of this list, and some may disagree for wearing it in the summer. Yes, it can be a bit more challenging compared to your more typical summer freshies. That's what I love about it. I think you can pull it off easily in the summer evenings, especially if you're craving something beastly. It will get you noticed. Now let's depart away from the more complex and challenging ones and go with a watery summer scent. Again, on the cheaper end, and famously known for delivering beast-like performance, it's Bvlgari Aqua Atlantiqve. I don't know how they do it. Just like Hacivat, the performance in this one is mind-blowing. Yes, I'll admit it doesn't smell very natural, nothing luxury level, but it's a nice, simple, fresh aquatic that lasts all day, all night. Never letting up. Water notes, sea notes, lemon, bergamot, ambergris, apple, sage, some amberwood, vetiver, patchouli, and benzoin in the base. Benzoin being a balsamic resin reminiscent of vanilla, and most likely the ingredient added to make this fragrance latch onto the skin and continue to pump out. I think it's worth trying, and for the price, it's a great option if you prefer easy to wear freshies. Performance versus price, this one is almost a no-brainer for me. And finally, jumping to the opposite end of the price range, we'll end this list with a selection from the Oman-based house of Amouage. And this is Honor Man. Beast, man. Beast. Just like how Bvlgari Aqua uses benzoin, this one uses elemi. It's another resin with fresh, piney citrus facets, and also maybe the element which makes it such a fresh beast. In addition to that, it has Amouage's signature spices with incense, pepper, nutmeg, also vetiver, cedar, musk, and patchouli adds such an elegant depth to it. Amouage is notorious for making strong fragrances with spices. Out of all that I've sampled, this one to me seems like their sort of token freshie. It's probably their least challenging, nice and bright, yet can fill a room. Congratulations, my summer swingers. Prepare to get yourself noticed with these 10 fresh powerhouses. Now, I want to hear from you. I'm curious what fragrances perform really well on your skin. Bearing in mind, skin chemistry plays a big part, so you tell me in the comments below. Also, if you could just run the drill as usual, subscribe, like, and ding the bell, and the algorithm gods will not only help your fragrances last all night, Ah, what generous gods they are. Keep your summer fun going, my dear nostrils, while at the same time, don't forget to stay smelly. And you'll be super smelly with the ones I mentioned today. See you on the next adventure. The doctor is out. Beast mode.